the headshots like this. There's all like the whole, literally like a social network, almost a local network.
Good. Yes.
Yeah, so it's the first one. I mean, I just opened that meetup, and it's like we're opening it. And I'm working in conjunction with here, and we're doing this thing.
Because like basically we've known each other from way back, years back, and like during like we were trying to do like a sci-fi project, like this another meetup, and then so he contacts me. It's like, I need to. I was really thinking about this. I'm like, all right, I'll get a place. Let's make it happen.
So it's kind of like a home, so you just reaching out to the local community type thing. I'm hoping the film does really well and stuff. I got a bit limited but it's not like they're going to put millions of dollars advertising it. It's up to social networking and people going on. So it's kind of like I hope it does. I'm going to try to make it happen, but it's like we'll see what it does.
When are they? It's really like an on-demand thing, like yes, places to do.
Anyone can promote it. Like, let's say you want to see it. Just go, I want to see the art, and you click the thing, and then you have to tell like all your friends, or I can. I mean, I can try to reach out, and I will. When I see something pop up, I'm going to try. But ultimately it's do people want to see it, and it's tough because you're competing with Iron Man and there's huge $250 million movies. I'm like, do I want to see that, and I'm hoping that independent film can still live. But,
but it's responsibility. And like wind up like I just gonna pull together a whole bunch of equipment on my own. And just gonna grab the cameras.
That's the best part about the time we're living in.
You have to take control.
To answer your question, probably about 2 to 3 weeks. Right now, I'm in the process of making so I already got the Blu-ray, but I have to make sure that's part of it. So I'm going to do that.
I was just trying to roll this up. No, I'm good.
I'm just doing it. There's no judgment. Sunday, I'm sitting there. We're in church. That's it. So to speak. No pun intended.
Yeah.
We're in church, I got saying no pun intended.
Yeah, it's literally just like a community, community event.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I mean, and you're around the corner from Steve Allen and up the street from Barnesdale Art Park. Have you been over there?
No.
That's a really cool place.
We're literally right there.
Yeah.
I can start a rave.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
It's totally good. We got the actually.
does this film come with glow sticks and candy necklace, or is
Totally.
that optional? Does
Get the green
BYO
glow sticks. Get your 8-inch glow sticks right here.
I know.
Get your Zone X glow
It's funny how green is always the color. Like the green fluorescent goo is always the color of the alien liquid or blood or spew or whatever the thing is.
Blue is like,
Blue is that like a benign, like the benevolent aliens.
Yeah,
Green is the gross aliens.
Red is the really good one.
Oh yeah, that's right. And they avoided red so much in the 80s because it SD video at the time.
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of the green. What time do you officially start?
7 o'clock.
Oh, okay, all right. Advanced team.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
As a matter of fact, I got the my own table over there because I love the binders and stuff. So I figured I'd go and do like a little home table over here. You see my project in the developer over there. So I didn't bring a DVD of like the June Love project, but got you can see like the character artwork here. Why not? Shit. Holy crap. So you can see like there's an adaptation there. That's a horror movie here. And then Murder Inc. That's a satire on another adaptation. No, Pirate Story about space pirates. Yeah, feel free to go through and see all the artwork in this. Sure.
putting together like a short, like a what do you call it? Sort of like a trailer or teaser for something to come up. And like you know how they have those sci-fi type characters in like the bodysuits, or like some of the ones you already used. Like use some of that, right? And then you have to change it for it to be like yours. It's not just done and you have to change it, change the textures.
Oh, yeah.
And then we could probably just get purchase some motion capture, right? And then apply the motion capture to the characters.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, here we are, deep in the heart of Hollywood, somewhere space and time. I know that guy's somewhere lost in space and time, but I see you back there. Yeah, I can see you. I know what you're reaching for. Anyways, welcome everybody. Here we are, the kickoff event here, a Hollywood callback, right here in Hollywood's backyard. It's so glad to. It's so good to be here anyways, but basically what we're doing over here is, Hollywood is a big community, and it's a big town, like Big Tire, and we're all part of the transmission. I'm not sure what that means, but anyways, but I do know what is going on here is that we've got this filmmaker over here, this Thomas Dickens character, and now what Hollywood Callback is this literally grassroots, we're reaching out over here because everyone needs an animal, and whether or not you're in or somewhere, like there's like a wheel. I think basically it's like there's like 3 or 4 different wheels, and they all kind of spin at like different rates and stuff. You kind of go. There's like wheels and elevators, in addition to like some stairs that kind of go along like this. And in this crazy town in LA, you can go about you can go down about as far as you can up, and we're looking to go up. But this guy over here, this Thomas Dickens, who I'm glad to introduce to you here now, is a long friend of mine, long-standing friend of mine over here. Like this, but basically he's managed to go and make an entire feature from the ground up over here, written, directed, produced, and the effects, all by himself. And that's what this is the whole kind of the idea behind this is for. It's literally, like, we're right in the backyard, right on the front door, knocking at the door, going like, hello, and like, there's like talent here, talent, okay, cool. Anyway, so I would like to introduce a long-standing friend of mine, and a very, speaking of standing, a very tall friend of mine, Mr. Thomas Dickens. Let's give it up, okay, everybody? Alien Zone X, right over here, Hollywood premiere.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, glad you could make it. And this is our first meetup, and it's also in conjunction with Hollywood Callback. And part of what Hollywood Callback is just to reach out to people at various stages. They can be pros or beginners in wanting to make films or interested in films, and possibly getting together and actually working on a new project at some point together. So feel free to network a little bit. And anyway, this will be the first public screening of this film. It's also got into Tug.com, who will be doing theatrical distribution. But again, it's up to the audiences, and hopefully we have a large audiences out there somewhere across the great United States that will like this film. The film is my first feature film, and I shot it actually several years back. And the film was it had blessings and it had plagues. Some of the plagues were computer crashes in which I lost huge amounts of work and had to redo those. So it ended up taking a lot longer than I thought to get it done. Not to mention that I kind of believed I could do this quicker than it took to actually do. But I hope you enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy it. It's a independent film, but it's a bit of an epic. It's an hour and 53 minutes long. So be patient, and the film starts off at a certain pace and then starts to build up a fever pitch. There are some scary scenes in it, so just be warned of that, although it's not really a gore film. And I hope you enjoy it. And again, thank you to Andrew Johnston and Hollywood Callback. And I hope you enjoy Aliens Zone X.
In this temperature, if it keeps rising, with the supplies you brought and supply they have, we won't make it.
I apologize. I'm sorry. We got cold too far west. The cliff's too sheer. We can't make it down there.
Hug the rocks! The rocks falling down!
Watch out! Watch out!
Rocks are coming! Watch your feet! There's difficult and then, oh, there's impossible. We're gonna make it.
Hi, Amy. Nice meeting you too. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think I'm joining the aliens.
Yes.
I've had it with you humans.
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff.
Very good. So what did you think?
I want to see that. Maybe it can be tied in. So there's a little trick ending here.
No, the main star was Australian. He kept slipping, sort of, his accent kept slipping. Am I right?
There's a little surprise ending at the end here.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Keep tuning in.
So how long is it?
It's an hour and 53 minutes.
Yeah. Talking as an acquisition
Yeah.
person?
Yeah.
I saw already some
Yeah.
little things.
Yeah.
Every time, like in the beginning, when
Yeah.
the father goes, daughter, blah, blah, you don't have to say daughter. I would just come back and go,
Hi guys! Still
I feel something. What? It's Richard. Richard!
That cheese on fire was stuff, guys! They brought me back!
You're alive!
Oh my god. It's good to see you
It's
guys.
good to see you.
Oh, I thought I was dead.
Yeah!
So guys,
Yeah, that's right. Well, all right, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us at Alien Zone X. Now, here is the most important. Oh my God! We have a special guest. It's Mr. Jay London.
It's
Mr.
great
Jay
Paul.
London has joined us tonight. Mr. Jay London. This is Jay London. Yes, that's right. Comic extraordinaire. That's right. He's here to join us with the aliens tonight. Now here is this. I'll tell you, Jay London has joined us in the most important part of the evening, and that is Q&A.
Any questions?
Any questions? That's right.
Any at all?
That's right. That's right. Because I have a lot for this Mr. Thomas Dickens. He did this movie pretty much on his own. Known as he had a whole bunch of aliens were all in his back, and they were trying to shoot him down every chance he can try to get That's right. So the whole day trying to do it. So here's the kind of thing that I'm trying to encourage, is because we do, and we are. That's right. That's right. So I'm going to turn this over here in just a second over here. I'm trying to flip it over because I've got a lot of questions from this guy over here because it's Q&A because of how. Okay, this is why it's so important. This is why it's so important because.
Get off the microphone, you.
No. This is the question. Is like how did you get this movie made? You got to move it. How'd you do it? The aliens are running around over here. How'd you do it?
Okay, I mean, you know, first of all, the first thing I want to say is thank you so much to everybody for coming. I can't thank you enough for your dedication to filmmaking and independent film. Thank you so much, and science fiction.
Oh, yes.
How did I do it? Perseverance, and you can do it too. I mean, you just have to keep trying. I thought up the thought of this
Get up
movie,
the microphone right now.
shot the film. And went ahead and just did it. There was the voices saying, why bother, don't do it, just give up. But I just always wanted to do this, so I went ahead and just applied myself and did it. And it was just a ton of work, and it just took a lot of time and effort.
Now, this is good. This is that. I'm going to go over on this side here. Over here like this. Now, Thomas, did you have to do all the? I'm certain, like we see, like all the art of this, art of that, and everything, Pixar and stuff like that. Now, did you have to do a lot of the? We see a lot of 3D modeling software out there. Did you have to do a lot of the? We talked about rotoscoping, and I'm a big fan of that. And now, rotoscoping is a big pain in the ass. You have to do it frame by frame.
Right. Yeah, the many films are shot using green screen or blue screen. Actually, the entire end part where they're aboard the mothership UFO, that part was shot against a blue screen, and allowed me to create a completely CGI environment for them to be in, which was the interior of the ship. But most of the film was not done with any green screen or blue screen. Most of the film was just shot live, which allowed me as a director to not worry about the effects until later. But I certainly did worry about them later. But at the time, it allowed me to be a director and just direct the actors, and you had to tell them, like, there's a creature jumping on your chest right now, and it's about so big, and it weighs about so much, and it's going for your throat, and you need to react like this. And so the actors, we react like that, and then later I'd have to make outlines around the hands and different parts of the body as something would go in front of them or behind them. So the rotoscope allowed for that, which is a laborious process. The only way to do it is frame by frame.
So do you, in terms of everyone's talking about CGI, software, that kind of thing nowadays. So do you have to do 3D modeling for everything? I see you nodding over there. Wow. So you have to build a 3D model, lighting, skin, and match every frame of film.
Yeah, well, basically, there's several things in this film. There's, as far as 3D animation, there's digital stunt people, and that's when somebody's falling or this or that. We didn't actually have the you know, we didn't have the stuntmen on wires falling off cliffs. So that was done with CGI stuntmen. We had CGI aliens, the CGI aliens' powers, we had the UFOs, and then the different creations that the aliens were able to create. So some of them I took from different libraries of models that already existed, and then I had to go in and remodel them to not look exactly like that. Which is something, you know, that I had to do on this type of budget. And other ones were modeled completely by hand, and I drew the sketches, designed the creatures, and modeled them freehand by hand in the computer, and mostly using lightweight 3D software. And then I had to put bones in them in the computer and animate them using inverse kinematics and forward kinematics. And then I mostly did the compositing in After Effects. So it was just a lot of work. And just a ton of work, and you know, there's always room for revisions, and I hear different things from different people. People said like, well, you know, we should do this with the movie and that with the movie, and you should edit it this way and edit it that way. And the thing is, though, is that when you're making your own film, I can't just hand that to an editor. I'm the editor. So, you know, you're sitting here trying to do the best you can and turn out something. And then I'm also the director. So that leads into an issue of, well, am I making my film or am I making a film that someone else is telling me what to do? Which is the one good thing about independent filmmaking. Because if you make films for Hollywood, you're going to do what they tell you. They're going to say, can you cut this part out? Can you move this part here? Can you add this here? And you're going to do exactly what they say. But when you make an independent film, you can make it your way. And then you have to ask yourself a second question. If I make further changes to this film, there's one big question. Will it sell more movie tickets or will it not sell more movie tickets? Because if it doesn't sell more movie tickets, if it's not going to get more people in the theater, then I might as well make it my way. You know, in the end, you know, there's probably some things I could do. Maybe we'll have a director's cut for that. Or if I find massive, you know, worldwide distributing and they tell me what to do, then I'll probably say, I'll tell you what, I'll give you all the files and you edit it because I'm done. I'm done. So I've been working on this thing many years, I'm done. Like, if you want it, you cut it.
Yeah, so, exactly. So this is the kind of thing I'm worried about. Like, so this guy had to go and, so you have to develop, and that's what I'm saying, Lightwave is, you know, I'm learning about. And so Lightwave is like something you have to build the whole thing from scratch in terms of, like, you have to give it a skin, a skeleton, light it, and then composite upon the frame. Is that what you have to do?
Yeah, and you know, you get some help from the computer, so basically you animate different, it's kind of like a mixture of stop motion animation and cell animation. With cell animation, you animate the hand here, here, and then you get an in-between animator to animate, and then stop motion, you have to animate every frame. With the computer, I just animate here, and the computer does the in-between. So you have to do the basic poses, then you got to work out the timing and the movements. So I wanted the aliens to have this kind of sinewy movement, and they were supposed to be creatures that are so far advanced beyond humanity that their technology is kind of seamless. But at the same time that they're advanced, I also wanted to just get a little bit of inside information on the way these aliens are. Is that these aliens are also like the whole thing is like supposed to make you kind of think. Like you're like kind of like, well, they're so advanced. Why did they use knives on people? Why didn't they just laser people? Why didn't they do that? The reason is because they themselves are not necessarily any more advanced than we are. It's just that they have advanced equipment. They have advanced technology. So in other words, it's very similar to my phone here. I have a very, very advanced phone. But I didn't build this phone, and I have no idea how to build a phone. I got the phone. And now I can use this advanced technology, but does it make me more advanced, or am I still like almost like a caveman with a bunch of advanced tools? So it's kind of bringing up this idea of these aliens, that are they advanced really, or are they still savage creatures, but they just happen to have all these powers?
That's right, that's what brings them to the desert with these characters we've seen. It's like they're the savage aliens.
And one last thing before closing. Yes, oh, hold on, you have a question?
Jay London, come on.
Jay London.
I just want to say something.
Come over here, right? Mr. Jay London.
Totally unexpected. Thank you, members of the Academy. and anybody in retail.
Yes.
It all started when my dog started to receive free rollover minutes.
Right.
That's when everything went wrong.
Yes.
Yes, and then I went to a petting zoo today, and one of the animals rejected my advances.
I want my Grey Poupon.
I want my great. It's just been and I want to do a one-man show, but I'm afraid somebody else is going to show up. And then I went to a movie today, and then I went straight to video.
And the question.
The question is,
Who is this man?
no, the question is, I being a filmmaker, and I don't want to sound like I'm barging in here. I had a little sunstroke today. I work on petitions, and so I had to make it at the gumption to come here. So I don't want to upset your show. I just want to do 10 seconds and wish you well in all your
Thank you, Mr. J. London.
Thank you. Bedrock Whisperer.
The bedbug whisperer, and also what do you call that? When someone is at the
Thank you.
door, when you have somebody, when there's I'm the bedbug whisperer, and I'm also known as the, if I may, I don't want to take away the show here, I'm sorry. And I'm also, when you have conflict and there's a tremendous disarray, they're called certain something, counselors, whatever. But the point is, I'm sorry to barge in here. And it was a pleasure to be here through the auspices of Andrew and this young man right here and the young lady. I didn't want to interject. So thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you so much, Mr. London.
Mr. J. London, thank you very much.
Miss Alicia Hollinger, do you have any questions?
Alicia Hollinger.
I really asked you when you were sitting here.
Okay. I just wanted to, this movie is meant to make you think. Let me, please start conversations about it. But I have a question. Are the aliens even real? Even in our own world, are they real, or are they kind of mind-controlled experiment?
I have a question here.
Hey, come on.
Are they interdimensional?
Yeah.
Or are they created?
Take the mic. Come on up here.
Or are they created?
Alicia Hollinger.
Alicia
Alicia
Hollinger.
Hollinger.
Here she is.
A
Of Hollywood.
very accomplished artist.
I think Jay London was abducted by an alien.
To introduce Alicia, she's been a friend for many years, and she also has her own artwork, which is science fiction artwork, what she does, and other forms of artwork involving many different characters, including sexy posed characters that she makes in the computer as well. And maybe you could talk about your website. But real quick, Alien Zone X, the website is alienszonex.com. So please check it out. Here's Alicia.
I'm doing a comic book and it has similar aliens and mine are interdimensional also. So, what? Oh, I website. Yes, my name. AliciaHollinger.com. ALICIAHOLLINGER.com.
So thank you, Hollywood, for coming to the first screening of Aliens Zone X. And I hope you enjoy it and tell all your friends about it, because it's an independent film and was not created by Hollywood. Thank you. Mr. Andrew, we couldn't have done without you.
Right here.
I think you're a very talented man.
Thank you, sir.
My only criticism is some of your actors kind of,
Yes.
there was a bit of,
Well, I asked Brad Pitt's agent, but he wouldn't answer my phone. And then I tried for, what's her name? Some big stars. But,
how much time did you spend with the actors?
Well, that was, the thing is that on a film like this, it's very rushed.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, there was very difficulty to get actors that wanted to do this. First, they were made low pay.
Right.
I mean, they didn't get $25, $35 million.
No, I understand that, yeah.
So what happened is that my partner, David Burke on the film,
Yeah.
is the lead actor, but he was also the co-executive producer.
And is he Australian?
He's
or
Australian.
That's what I figured.
He's
Yeah.
American now, but he helped me.
I couldn't work out if he was trying to be American or if he was slipping back into the Aussie.
Well, as far as that goes, some of the ADR that he recorded was done years after the shoot, and he had taken corrective classes to try to get rid of the accent. I was like, no, I like it. Leave it. but you know, so there's like some areas where he almost sounds American. And
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
You know, so to answer your
take the mic.
to answer your question, one way that we got students. One way that we got actors. One way that we got actors, and this is very important for anybody who wants to make their own picture, is, you know, to learn from other filmmakers, from the things they did right and from the mistakes they made. And some of the mistakes we made and some of the things we did right. One thing that we did right, I think, was that for a lot of the actors, in order to get them at all, what we did is we went to actors' film schools. And there was an actors school in Las Vegas that we went to, and we got probably 50% of the actors just from that film school. So we got to go to the school, we got to see them act and act against each other, and I actually made a short film before this called Vortex. And unfortunately, Vortex was, learn as you go. We didn't get release forms. So I actually can't release that film because I have no release forms for the actors. But it was still something we learned from, and so I don't regret doing that. But in some of the actors, like Trevon, who played the African-American gentleman, Chris Harper, who played Trey, and some of the other actors came from that film acting school. So the good thing about that is that you can go to this acting school and you can see all these students who are just wanting to get into movies, but they can't. Because they're going to go through school and they're going to become these great actors, and Hollywood's going to slam the door in their face. And so you might be able to do a scene in the background out of focus, drinking a coffee because we need extras, and if they don't have a chance to ever be a big actor. So the independent filmmakers, I got a chance to see them, and I befriended them. We got along on Vortex, and then I said, would you like to be part of this feature that I'm going to make? So we continued forward with that. However, I was still behind on several actors. I had my lead actor, who was David Burke. I had some of those others. And some of the others, we had nobody. Like, for example, my lead female actress, who played Susan, were the pilot. I didn't have them. So I actually put an advertisement in Craigslist in Los Angeles. And I interviewed several people over at a Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf in Playa Vista. And I found Holly Poplowski and Wallace Dorian. And Wallace Dorian, the film is actually dedicated to him because he unfortunately passed away after the filmmaking was done. Which is very sad because he was one of the guys that I became closest friends with, but he had a heart attack or something like that. So anyway, I interviewed them and signed them up, but the film was in Las Vegas. So most of the actors and a lot of the crew was Las Vegas. But Holly and pilot Mitchell Barnes were from Los Angeles. So I got them out there, and some of the first shots when Don Morgan is first working out and doing his chi powers in the desert, that was shot at Devil's Punch Bowl off Pear Blossom Highway in California. Then the interior station, when he goes into the forest ranger station, was actually shot in a room in my house. I wish I had this facility here. I probably would rather shoot it in there at the time. And then the rest of most of the film was shot in Red Rocks, Nevada, which was like a 15-minute drive from Las Vegas. So it made it very handy for the actors. So they could go home and then come out and do the acting, and we'd go back and forth. But with this type of budget, you don't get fully dedicated people. The actors, a lot of them was like on their own schedules. And this movie's like the Dirty Dozen. You always have numerous people on screen, which is something you learn. In the future, I probably won't do that. I'll probably have a smaller cast on screen at any given time. But on this film, you had 9, 10 people on the screen at all times as this group's there. And it's like some of them are like, well, I stayed up on my job working last night till 4 in the morning. So I can't make it in till 10. And somebody else was like, well, I slept in, so I can get in at 6. But I have to leave at noon. So it's like, great, I have 2 hours to shoot like 50 shots, or 100 shots. So basically, some of the takes is like, I got one take.
or 2 takes, or 5 takes, or whatever it was. Often it was, I would say we averaged around 2 to 3 takes. And sometimes just 1. You're like, do your shot, you know, and the good thing, for the lucky thing for me is that, like, I wrote this script. By the way I wrote it is, I actually on a Friday night, I stayed up for 3 days straight with no sleep. And also no drugs, I just did it. I was just high on the film, I guess. But I just stayed up for 3 days straight and wrote the whole script. And then I told myself, and I told my partner, I'm like, we are gonna start shooting on April 9th of the year we started. And if we don't start on April 9th, I will never make a movie and I will never talk about making movies the rest of my life. This is it. I'm either doing it or not doing it. So we made this date for April 9th, which was only a month away from when the script was finished. So it really gave very little time to find those actors and get everything planned and the location shooting and we had to get insurance. We had to get $1 million worth of insurance. I didn't pay $1 million, but $1 million because we're climbing, those shots climbing around in the mountains and stuff are real. Like, I mean, I was literally probably never closer to death in my life than shooting this film. I'm standing on the edge of a real cliff and shooting shots and the actors are jumping around. So we had to get insurance in case somebody got hurt or killed. But a lot of these shots were just, you know, I had the entire script, every scene, every shot in my head. So I would prefer to do storyboards. We just didn't have the time, and I couldn't hire a storyboard artist and deal with them and talk with them. But I mean, preferably, there'd be a lot of these things done. But, so I thankfully had all the shots in my head. And I was like, I didn't have any guesswork. I was like, okay, I need a close-up side view of you saying this line. Now I need a 3/4 view of the reaction. And I wasn't going to the set and going, I wonder what I should shoot. Should I shoot a long shot? And should this person be really angry or kind of, you know, sly? I mean, I was like, this shot, he's really angry. This shot, you know, I knew what I wanted, which made the shooting of it go really quick. As a matter of fact, my partner David and I coined a phrase called kinetic filmmaking, which is what I called this. And I'll probably write a book on this one day, making kinetic filmmaking. It's just kind of like filmmaking on the fly. But the director must know exactly what he wants, shot by shot, almost like it's storyboard in your head. And I was like, I just knew this story, and people are like, well, what should I do here? I was like, well, this is what you should do. I knew. It was no like, well, let me check with my script supervisor. Because with this budget, I was the script supervisor also. So you don't have that. And, you know, and then there was actually, this movie is an epic. I mean, it's an hour and 53 minutes, which is a long movie for an independent film. And I had actually made a version that was shorter. It was 95 minutes long. And I had to ask myself a question. Is that going to sell more movie tickets? Are more people going to rush out to the theater because it's 95 versus 153? And I'm losing so much by making it shorter. As a matter of fact, it felt so disjointed. You're watching it and going, what is going on? Now, there's probably some shots I could cut. You know, but I'm done with this movie. I thought the movie would take like a year or two to make, and it took like 5,000 years to make, so not that long. It took a long time, so what I would like to do now is make more films. You know, learn from this one and keep going, and not just look back and constantly noodle this movie. I'm basically done. I hope that people like it, and if it does really well, then we'll consider doing other versions of it, different cuts. You know, but yeah, you had to go out there and get the actors only when they were available, and you had to shoot that thing. And there's sometimes that I had to shoot like an actor talking to someone that wasn't even there, and I had to remember all this stuff. I'm like, let me see, I got a pickup shot of this person here, we got to get that, and then it was so much to keep track of. It was unbelievable, you know. But it was a lot of fun. I'm still friends with all the actors. So you know, in the crew, it was great. I also had, you know, help from different special effects guys that helped me out, you know, along the ways. But it was in the end, it was mostly me doing a lot of the stuff. So.
I have a question for you. So now, the key question is, now how long did it take you? We've got printed photography, we've got pre-phasing, correct, computer film. there's writing, pre-production, and there's production, and then post-production. How long did it take, say, shooting the movie, and then how long was post-production?
Okay, well, you had to ask that, right? It's going to come up. It's kind of embarrassing. But then when you think about it, well, James Cameron took 10 years to make Avatar. So I beat him. I wasn't 10 years. But I actually wrote the script.
Let's distribute it now. Forget about that.
I wrote the script
Let's do worldwide distribution.
How long did it take to shoot the movie?
Shut up. Shut up.
The script was written in 2007.
2007.
I had 13 days to shoot the entire production.
Wow.
Okay?
That's good.
Across 2 states.
That's very good.
That's 2 weeks.
In multiple locations. Even though they kind of look the same, they were actually different locations.
That's enough.
Okay, 13 days to shoot. Okay, then came the issues, which I'm just going to try to breeze through because it's just, if I told you it's almost unbelievable, it's like, come on, this is like, you're making up stories. No, I'm not. I had to ingest the material. The sound sync was off on every shot.
Oh.
Because when I shot this, it was some of the first cameras that even shot HD. Okay, and they weren't developed yet. So the sound sync was off. So I actually had to find a code writer online to write a code which would convert all of the shots in the entire movie to have sound sync. And it was unbelievable that I found this angel from heaven to write code that would convert this film to actually have sound sync, because I was about to proverbially, not really, but proverbially blow my brains out, because I just shot this movie and none of the sound was usable. But this guy wrote a code, and he was an anonymous guy online. And he wrote the code, we got the sound sync. Okay, so anyway, long story short, I then began to edit. Now when I was shooting this movie, and it's unbelievable, because the movie right now, some people think it's a perfect film, and some people think that it's a little long. Okay, the film is 153 minutes long. You know, in the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, a movie that was 180 minutes long was normal. But today, most films are shorter. So this became kind of an epic. But when I was shooting this movie, believe it or not, because it was my first film I ever made, I was continually stressed every day that I wasn't going to have enough footage, that the film would actually run short. I'm like, oh my gosh, what happens if I shoot all this stuff and I only end up with a 40-minute film? So I didn't know how to gauge the time. And part of this lessons learned, I kind of cheated myself. When I wrote the script, I wanted it to be like, 120 pages. Because originally I was like, okay, it's going to be 120 minutes, which is actually shorter than that, thankfully. So I'm actually shorter than my original intention. But originally I wanted it to be 120 minutes. I wrote a 120-page script, because a page is a minute. But I cheated myself because I actually squeezed the typeface. So it was actually longer than that. So I ended up shooting all this extra footage. There's actually other complete gigantic scenes in this that I shot, that I cut. And some of it was just like, basically again, learning as a filmmaker. I had to try to cut out anything that I loved and I thought was so cool and so great that I was so happy with it, but it didn't further the story. I had to cut that. So there was like shots of Don Morgan and Susan falling in love, and they were describing how they were looking for someone like this for so long, and it was very romantic and very cute, but it wasn't furthering the sci-fi part of this. And I thought, there's going to be a lot of people fast forwarding, just like, show me the creatures, would you? So I cut out those romantic stuff. There was other shots where Mike was originally very, like even more of a problem for Don Morgan. These people were very adversarial, and I just found them constantly to be fighting, and it was just getting tiresome to watch. So I cut out some scenes, but it was also supposed to show character arc, that originally Mike and Don were really at each other's throat, but then they overcame that and became friends. But I just wanted to shorten that, so I cut some scenes, and there was actually a lot of other scenes, and like I really learned that you must remember a page is a minute on film or more, because on a script you can say, then they get into a ferocious fight. That's one line, but the scene can be 5 minutes long. So you have to be careful when you write the script that you're being realistic, that like, you know, you could end up doing like what I did, and you created an epic for your first film. Originally I didn't want an epic, it was supposed to be like this B-monster movie, which it still is, but it's epic length. And it is a story, it is an epic story of, you know, good versus evil, light versus darkness. So it has that in there. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
For your dedication. Thank you for coming to the first screening of Aliens Zone X, and thank you so much for Andrew Johnston for putting this together with Hollywood Callback.
All right, thank you very much, Thomas Dickens, Alien Zone X. Give it up, everybody! Aliens, look out.
That's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Thank you.
Thank you so much, people. There was supposed to be more people here, by the way. They all RSVP'd. Where's
More
Martha?
applause, add more applause, and
Yeah.
audio.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that in post.
Put some CGI heads in the chairs.
Oh, you can do it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Craig, CGI heads in the chairs.
I think
you
so.
Can do that.
Yeah. They're not fake. Wait a minute. Why do they all look like Elise and Tom?
No, we can
Yeah,
use the poser
I know,
people.
I know.
And have
Yeah.
them all.
I know. And all dressed like aliens and different sci-fi people.
Yeah, man.
There's Captain Kirk. You know, he's, you know. So
Party.
thanks for coming. And thank you, Andrew, for putting all this together. And thank you so much for putting this together.
You're very welcome. That was very good.
Thank you. Yeah.
How do you distribute this now? I mean, that's the hardest part, I would think. Right?
Well, that is the hardest part, because basically what your fear is that you're going to get ripped off, right?
Yeah, well, I used to work in that position, so.
I used to do that many years ago myself.
Oh, really?